Hi everyone, a very good morning. This is CA Ridhima Bhatia, and we are discussing the chapter related to deductions from gross total income. I believe today being the last day or the due date for the return filing, and I hope you, as of now, right now, being an inter student, might not have that much pressure, but for anyone to be CA or who is a chartered accountant, these dates are very particular and very special in somehow. So please settle in and then we'll start our today's class. This is your part 2 of the chapter deductions under gross total income. In case you have any doubts from the previous class, please feel free to ask. Before that, we'll quickly make a revision for what we did in the previous class. So previous class was all about first making a concept and understanding what deductions actually are, how are they different from exemption, what all are the limitations of deductions, or in a way you can say that you cannot have those more than the gross total income. Deductions cannot lead to loss of the total income. Deductions cannot be settled or deductions cannot be claimed from some special rates income. Yes, deductions are there, but they are under chapter 6A. There are two headings, heading B, whereas you get the deductions in respect of certain payments, heading C, where you get the deductions in respect of certain incomes. So we started with deduction in respect of certain payments. First of all, where we saw 80C. So I hope you can see on the screen, right? So whenever you're doing any deduction, the first section you should remember is a section number 1. What type of, when I talk about payments or in income or investments, so what type of payments or investments or income that particular section covers, to whom it is applicable, and what is the maximum deduction, and then you should remember other conditions which we have discussed respectively. So when I talk about section 80C, it should be immediately about the common ones like life insurance policy, education or tuition fees, contribution to provident fund, repayment of housing loan. So that should immediately come in your mind that when 80C is being talked about, or contribution to small savings schemes, contribution to pension funds, fixed deposit is what we discussed. Who can claim it? Individual and HUF can claim it. What is the maximum deduction? 1,50,000. हाँ, अब वहां पे आके who can be what tuition fee किसके लिए you can claim, that you should remember. Life insurance policy, kiska premium you can pay, that you should remember. Contribution to provident fund, to whom, for whom you can contribute and claim the deduction. Those small things you should remember along with the lock-in period. Next, we discussed about section 80CCC, which is amount deposited to or paid to annuity pension of LIC or other insurer. This is only for individual, and the maximum deduction here is also 1,50,000. Then 80CCD subsection 1, contribution to national pension scheme or Atal Pension Yojana. This can also be claimed only by individuals. Here also the maximum deduction which is allowed to you is 10% of salary, or in case of employee, or 20% of gross total income in case of other than employees, subject to the contribution. And one should remember 80C plus 80CC and 80CCD subsection 1 cannot cross more than 1,50,000. Then 80CCD subsection 1B, again same contribution to your NPS or Atal Pension Yojana, but this is an additional deduction which an individual can claim up to 50,000. Then 80CCD subsection 2, which is employer contribution to NPS. यहाँ पे individual will be claiming of what is taken as salary above because of the employer contribution. Here the deduction is 14% of salary in case of central government or state government employees, and otherwise it is 10% of salary. Then we discussed section 80D, very common one, which is deduction in respect of health insurance or medical insurance policies, preventive health checkup, contribution to CGHS, and expenditure on medical treatment for senior citizens in case they do not have insurance policies. This is also available for individual and HF. Maximum, if I should say, then you can claim up to 1,50,000 for yourself and 50 for your parents if if both of them or either one of them in both the groups is a senior citizen. Otherwise, it's 25 if no one is senior citizen. Okay, so this is what we discussed in the previous class. For a quick recap, and I'll quickly take your queries, if any, and then we will move forward. Anyone has any queries from the previous class or the previous session? I hope you did the homework also. Very good. So now we will proceed with our new section, which is as in the new topic or the new or the next section, which is 80DD. Let's proceed. So next, my friend, is the section on deduction in respect of maintenance, including medical treatment of dependent disabled. So I am happy focusing on the word maintenance and medical treatment of dependent disabled. So यहाँ पे, before to proceed what 80DD is, let's first discuss about what is dependent disabled. Now, dependent disabled means there is someone who is dependent on the assessee and is disabled. So dependent and disabled, both the things are very important. But who can be a dependent disabled person? जिसके लिए maintaining them or for their medical treatment, you can claim the deduction. You as an assessee can claim a deduction. First of all, the assessee here can be resident individual and HUF. Sorry, this is making some problem. The assessee can be a resident individual and HUF, and he has to do either maintaining. Now, maintaining necessarily does not mean that you have to always spend on some or the other medical expenditure. Maintaining means that since they are dependent on you, the person is disabled, who, not the individual, but not the assessee, but the other person. If they are dependent and disabled and you're maintaining them or keeping a nurse for them or keeping regular expenditures for them, then you are maintaining them, including their medical treatment. If since they are disabled, then in that case, the assessee is taking care of their medical treatment. They are taking care of or having a premium or policies and life insurance against them, that in case the assessee gets disease, as the assessee dies, so there is a policy to cover the medical expenses and the maintaining expenses of the dependent disabled. So here, the deduction is not for the dependent disabled. I'm repeating again and again. Here, the deduction which we are talking about is for the assessee who is maintaining that dependent disabled, either through general maintenance or through the medical treatment, or he is depositing an amount the assessee is depositing an amount for the insurance. For the insurance of the dependent disabled, that in case if something happens, so to the assessee, on the death of the assessee, there can be some annuity or lump sum amount which the dependent disabled receives so that he or she can be maintained. So on the insurance he is spending, or एक latest replacement आया है from this year, which is applicable to you, which is applicable from assessment year 23-24. Pehle only it was written that he or the assessee is spending upon the insurance for the dependent disabled, which the dependent disabled might receive on the death of the assessee. Where the part was, if assessee dies, then there is some amount which the dependent disabled receive. There is another impact, or for a policy till which assessee turns the age of 60 years. And once he turns the age of 60 years, the premium for those policies stop. He has not died. He has turned the age of 60 years. The premium for the policies has stopped, and now some amount is getting covered from that insurance. Both type of insurance are covered here. So if I make you read here, payments qualifying for deduction, any amount for medical treatment, including nursing and rehabilitation and training, etc., or any amount deposited under a scheme of LIC or any other insurer for the maintenance of the dependent being a person with disability. The scheme which we're talking about should provide for the payment of annuity or lump sum amount for the benefit of dependent, which is the person who is with disability, in the event of death of the individual or the member of the HUF in whose name subscription was made. That means the scheme or the insurance we are talking about is not a random insurance, insurance which after the death of the assessee would cover the expenses of the dependent disabled, or on attaining the age of 60 years or more by such individual or the member of the HUF, and the payment or deposit to such scheme has been discontinued. But pehle, the condition was that the money would be received only when the assessee dies, tabhi wo scheme would be eligible for DTD. But now with the amendment which has come, that assessee also can become a senior citizen, and he also has now a less income scope, or he also has now more things to take care of, including his health. So either a scheme where till the age assessee attains 60 years, he's contributing and then it is stopped, usse bhi kuch money milega, that would also qualify to be an eligible scheme. Now this is the amendment which is actually applicable to you, and you should understand it properly. Okay, so back to the concept. 80 DD is the deduction which you get for DD, matlab dependent disabled. Number one, what type of deduction we are talking about? Deduction would be a flat deduction here, which I will tell you. But deduction you would qualify for deduction only if, as an assessee, you are maintaining a dependent disabled, and maintaining, say, we also include the term medical treatment, nursing, rehabilitate, everything would be covered up here. Also, in you are maintaining, and you're also putting a certain amount for the insurance scheme through which the dependent disabled might get some return for maintenance in case the assessee dies, or in case the return comes once the assessee has attained the age of 60 years and the premiums have stopped. Both the things. Now, the question which still remains unanswered is, what is the quantum of deduction? Now, how much deduction would be allowed? Either if you are maintaining a dependent disabled, or the assessee is maintaining a dependent disabled, there is a flat deduction, as in you spend a penny, you get a flat deduction. Flat deduction is 75,000. 75,000 in case we're talking about dependent disabled with a normal disability, but it would increase to 1,25,000 if you're talking about dependent disabled with severe disability. And severe disability means when the person is disabled for more than 80% of the body. That is called severe disability. So 75,000 in case of normal disability, 1,25,000 in case of severe disability, disability of dependent person. The question comes, ma'am, flat deduction? Yes. Even if you spend lakhs and lakhs in maintaining the person, still you will get 75 or 125 as the case may be. Or if you're spending just a nominal amount of 10,000, 15,000, still you will get 75,000. Irrespective of the expenditure, you will get the deduction. Number one. Number two, the question is, ma'am, please bata do, who is the dependent disabled we are talking about? So dependent disabled means from the assessee point of view, if the assessee is individual, obviously I'm saying again and again, not the assessee himself is dependent or disabled. The other person is dependent disabled. Who can be them? Spouse, children, parents, brother or sister of an individual who is wholly or mainly dependent on such individual. Number one. अब ये क्या है? I will talk about it. HUF के केस में any member who is dependent upon the HUF and is disabled would come under dependent disabled. Okay, so again, quick revision. 80DD talks about a flat deduction which you can claim as an assessee in case you're maintaining a dependent disabled. Maintaining include maintaining nursing, medical treatment, and also running a scheme and paying an amount for the scheme which will take care of the dependent disabled in case of the death of the assessee. Here, the scheme can return in the form of annuity or lump sum on two events: if the assessee dies or if the assessee attains 60 years of age and he is no more contributing the scheme. In both the cases, the scheme is an eligible scheme for 80DD. You have to spend some amount. It's not that you should not spend any amount. I'm saying spend an amount and claim flat deduction. That amount can be less than the flat deduction. That amount can be more than the flat deduction. Deduction is 75,000 or 1,25,000. 75 in case of normal assessee, 1,25,000 normal dependent disability, 1,25,000 in case of 80% or more disability, which is severe disability. Whenever I'll be talking about the term severe disability, I mean 80% or more. More than that, the person is disabled. Clear? Who can be the dependent disabled? Dependent disabled, obviously, in case of individual, would be a relative who is spouse, brother, sister, children, mother, father. Okay. Then HUF may any member who is dependent upon the HUF. The idea is dependency also you should not miss. You should not clearly simply write any sister, brother, mother, father, or spouse, children. You have to write who is wholly dependent upon the assessee. If the person is disabled but is earning, then you cannot claim under 80DD because he is not dependent upon the assessee. Dependency is the criteria along with the disability. Now, अब एक बात बताओ. I talked about insurance. ठीक है? That there is an insurance which is running for the dependent person. Okay, right? अब insurance का maturity आएगा, annuity या lump sum amount आएगा, guys? Yes or no? Correct. Now, once the insurance policy gets mature or once the insurance policy gives the return, two criteria can happen. Either the dependent disabled would receive it, right? Or the assessee would receive it. When would assessee would receive that insurance amount? Only when the dependent disabled is no more, right? Then only the assessee would receive the amount. Am I correct? क्योंकि अगर dependent disabled है already, he is not deceased, he is not pre-deceased, the assessee, then obviously dependent disabled would receive the amount because उसी के लिए the insurance was there. For that person only the insurance was there. So assessee को only when he will receive it, when dependent disabled this is deceased before assessee, right? So who would get the money? The assessee. So where whatever the money is received on the insurance maturity, or whatever is the money which the insurance people would give back in the form of annuity or lump sum to the assessee, would be taxable in the hands of assessee. Number one. Number two, अब dependent disabled को पैसा मिल रहा है, which is the normal case. Dependent disabled को when he will receive the money? Again, ध्यान से सोचो, when will dependent disabled would receive the money? Once the policy is matured, right? Once the policy is matured, and or if the person who was making the contribution, that is the assessee, dies. Two things can be happen. Assessee predeceases the dependent disabled. Predeceases matlab he dies before the dependent disabled. So obviously the person who is making the contribution has died. The contribution to the insurance or the premium to insurance has died. So then there would be a maturity or an amount would be received by the dependent disabled. Or with new amendment, if assessee has turned the age of 60 years and the premium has now been stopped. ठीक है, assessee 60 years का हो गया, no more premium he is paying. Then also, after a certain time, a return would come. Both the situation can happen. In both the cases, the money which is received by dependent disabled would not be taxable, would be exempt in the hands of dependent disabled. So now can I say, when we talk about the insurance, which is the maturity amount or which is the lump sum or annuity amount, it can be two situations. It can be either received by dependent disabled or it can be received by the assessee. Assessee would only receive when the dependent disabled is no more, right? And once the assessee receives that amount, it would be always taxable. Dependent disabled receiving that amount either on the death of the assessee or once the assessee attains 60 years of age and no more premiums are going now, both the situation where whatever dependent disabled would receive would not be taxable. Got it? Now यही चीज यहाँ पे it's written. Please quickly give a go through. Then we'll proceed to the next section. Okay. Clear है नहीं है, जो भी confusion है, please talk about it. Yes, Arun, this condition would not apply to general medical treatment of senior citizen. Disability and dependency are the two sole factors. A person can be handicapped, but he or she is not dependent upon individual for earning. So Krishna, to answer you, disability means there is some sort of problem, as in it can be autism, it can be cerebral palsy, it can be multiple disabilities, it can be visual impairment, hearing impairment, chronic neurological disorders, development disorders, mental illness, multiple disabilities, like person is affected from blood-related disorders. There are a proper guidelines under section 80U which talks about disability. So disability can be anything. Dependent disability means that a person is suffering from disability and is also dependent for his day-to-day expenses and maintenance on the assessee. That is called dependent disability. ATDD mein there is no senior and non-senior citizen. It is severe disability and your normal disability. Yes, Aisha, dependent person means now who is dependent on the assessee. Simple. Clear? Arun, Aisha, Darshan, very good. Thank you. So ATDD is also clear. क्या याद रखोगे? To whom it is available? It is available to any individual and HUF. Very good. Number 2, this is for the when the assessee incurs any medical insurance, medical expenditure, or any maintenance for the benefit of a relative or the dependent disabled person. And here 75,000 is in case of disability general and 1,25,000 in case of severe disability. Okay, now we move to another section which was being referred here as 80U. डिपेंडेंट डिसेबिलिटी हमने जैसे पढ़ा वहां पे एक चीज लिखा हुआ था, डेफिनेशन में लिखा हुआ है dependent disabled is so and so person and he is not claiming deduction under section 80U in the computation of his income. Ma'am, what is this? So एक और section है my friends, the section is 80U. Now what is 80U? This is also another section of deduction, but what is the difference here? This section talks about deduction in case of a person who is suffering from a disability. Now, this section, unlike 80D, is a flat deduction for a person who is suffering from the disability. That means the assessee should be a person who is suffering from disability. So, यहाँ पे how it is different from 80DD? 80DD में the person is not disabled who is claiming the deduction. He is maintaining a disabled person, dependent disabled person. Okay. But 80U में the assessee himself is disabled. Assessee himself is disabled. So this is first the difference between 80U and 80DD, number one. Number two, here also this deduction is for resident individual. And here also the deduction is same. That is 75,000 in case of normal disability and 1,25,000 in case of severe disability. So that means the government has given a flat deduction to a person who is disabled under section 80U. This is no expenditure based deduction. This is no income based deduction. If a person is disabled, he will get a flat deduction of 75,000 or 1,25,000 under section 80U. No expenditure based deduction it is. I'm saying it again and again. The only condition is the assessee should be suffering from a disability or is severe disability. So 75 and 125 respectively would be allowed. Here also the disability can be the same, obviously, which we talked about: autism, cerebral palsy, mental illness, visual impairment, hearing impairment, blood related disorder. All of these would come under your disability. If the person is suffering from a disability, here that person would get a flat deduction. Now the question comes, ma'am, what is it written here is that a person, अब 80D and 80U को harmony में पढ़ेंगे. 80U में flat deduction for an individual who is disabled and 80DD में deduction for an individual who is maintaining the dependent disabled. So now यहाँ पे 80DD का condition is that if Mr. X is an individual who is maintaining his mother, who is dependent disabled, then Mr. X can claim a flat deduction of 75,000 or 125,000. Okay, depending upon the disability of the dependent person, provided the dependent person is not claiming 80U. So mother being a dependent disabled as an individual, in her return not claiming 80U, then only Mr. X can claim 80DD. Got it? This is now the complete understanding of the condition for section 80DD. So if the mother is claiming 80U in her return, then Mr. X cannot claim. But for Mr. X to claim 75 or 125 for maintaining a dependent disabled, the mother in her return should not claim 80U. Got it? Any doubt? Same goes for the HUF also. So हमने अब 80DD भी कर लिया and 80U भी कर लिया. सुशील, डीम्ड इनकम ही अभी समझाया था कि when you get the money as in when the assessee gets the money from the insurance amount in case the dependent disabled pre-deceases the assessee, then it would always be taxable. Okay, so 80U also clear, 80DD also clear. Now 80DD ka that condition is also clear. Next section which we are now proceeding is to section 80DDB. Deduction in respect of medical treatment. Now guys, this is a section which is there for the medical treatment of any specified disease. Any specified disease ka medical treatment is covered under this section. Everyone on the screen, focus please. And Krishna, please be with the class. Now, first of all, let's talk about what are those specified diseases. Now, those specified diseases, there is a proper list. First of all, there can be neurological disease, where we are talking about like dementia, your motor neuron disease, Maglin disease, AIDS, chronic renal failure, thalassemia. All of these are your specified disease for which 80DDB can claim. The question comes, who can claim this deduction? The resident individual or HUF can claim the deduction. When the deduction can be claimed, for whom the deduction can be claimed? For the medical treatment, of the deduction can be claimed for that prescribed disease or ailment. Now the question comes, for whom that expenditure of medical treatment would be done. It can be done here for individual or any dependent person or the dependent person on the individual, or HUFT case mein, where the treatment is for any member. Okay, next question comes, who is the dependent person? It can be spouse, children, parents, brother and sisters. Okay, last question is, and what is the deduction? Deduction here is not flat deduction. It is actual expenditure of 40,000, whichever is lower, or actual expenditure of 1 lakh in case of senior citizen when we are talking about. So in this case only, you will get 80DDB. A question which would come in your case would be कि मैम इंश्योरेंस चल रहा होगा तो क्या करेंगे, मैम अगर ऑलरेडी इंश्योरेंस है तो क्या करेंगे. बट लेट्स रिवाइज इट अगेन. 80DDB मतलब दिस इज अ section which is for medical treatment, number 1, of any specified disease, of any specified disease. Specified disease में I gave you the name. वहाँ उन diseases का medical treatment. A medical treatment can be done for individual himself or for his dependent relatives. यहाँ पे I have not used the word disabled, and you should also not use the word disabled. So that means an individual has a specified disease or the dependent relative has a specified disease. Who is dependent relative? Dependent relatives are यहाँ पे same: spouse, children, brother, sister, mother and father, as in parents. Okay. HUF case में any dependent person. Next question comes कि ma'am, what is the expenditure? What is the deduction here? The deduction here is the expenditure amount or maximum 40,000. But if the patient we are talking about for whom the specified disease treatment has taken care of, then instead of 40,000, this would be maximum 1 lakh. Okay. So expenditure amount or the 40,000 ka limit, whichever is lower. So if expenditure for the specified disease has been 20,000, you will claim 20,000 as deduction. If the expenditure for specified disease was 60,000, you will claim 60,000 as 40,000 as deduction. But if the patient, either the individual himself or his dependent relative, is a senior citizen who is suffering from the specified disease, then in that case, the ceiling limit increases to 1 lakh. Clear? Now the question comes, मैम इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी चल रहा होगा तो तब भी क्लेम डिडक्शन मिलेगा. सो इफ द इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी इज देयर मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट के लिए, सो वट एवर इंश्योरेंस क्लेम हैज कम would be reduced and then only the deduction would be allowed. Then only the deduction would be allowed. So for example, there was an expenditure of 1 lakh which you made. Now out of that 1 lakh का खर्चा हुआ था for the specified disease. Now, out of that, 60,000 or say 70,000 was received from insurance company, right? Now, what is the net which has gone from your pocket? From your pocket, 30,000. So 30,000 or 40,000, whichever is lower, 30 is lower. So 30 you can claim as deduction. Obviously, government, अगर आपको already insurance claim मिल गया है, then it is not your expenditure. And 80DDB is basically for the expenditure. The criteria is the expenditure on the medical treatment of specified disease. That specified disease can be to the assessee or to the dependent person of the assessee. Got it? So insurance claim ke part pe, please be very careful. So before we proceed to the questions, what we did, let's make a comparison so that you people do not get confused. 80D, 80DD, 80DDB and 80U. यहाँ पे criteria is 80D में what is the criteria? The medical insurance, the medical insurance, preventive health checkup, और medical treatment in case there is no insurance. यहाँ पे medical treatment can be for anything. It's not written any specified disease. Medical treatment of no insurance of a resident senior citizen. ये तो हमें clear है. Who can claim it? Individual can claim it or HF can claim it. Individual can spend all these amount either for himself. यहाँ पे दो loop मिल जाते हैं individual को, for self, spouse and dependent children. And यहाँ पे it's only parents. 25,000 each. The limit is so maximum 50. In case no one is senior citizen, in case parents are senior citizen, then plus 25 more. In case self or spouse में से भी anyone is a senior citizen, then 25K more. So total 50-50. Senior citizen कोई भी category में fall हो गया, both the categories में fall हो गया तो 1 lakh. ठीक है? यहाँ पे there is nothing else. There is no condition of disability. There is no condition that the X person के लिए खर्चा should have been done. It can be for the category. Now 80DD में there is a flat deduction. Number 1, allowed only to resident individuals and HF. यहाँ पे residency is also the criteria. The deduction is flat if you spend even a single penny. Spending is important, but spending upon what? Spending upon the maintenance. It can happen that there is no medical treatment going on, no problem. But even if medical treatment is going on, you can still claim it. Or for the insurance of whom? Insurance of the dependent disabled. Insurance matlab health insurance. Insurance means here, my friend, the annuity life insurance, basically in case with the condition that कल को assessee को कुछ हो जाता है, if the assessee is not there, who would take care of that dependent disabled? So with that mindset, if the insurance has taken care of, there is a flat deduction of 75 in case of severe disability and 125K, 75 in case of normal disability, and in case of severe disability 125K. और कुछ condition नहीं है. Okay, then 80DDB, this here also, sorry, 80D, before going to 80DDB, remember that the dependent disabled, Who can be a dependent disabled? Dependent disabled cannot be individual here. He cannot be the individual because यहाँ पे self नहीं है. Dependent disability can be dependent disabled can be any person who is spouse, brother, sister, mother, father, and children. Okay, simple. यहाँ पे 80. अब what if the assessee is disabled? Then he can claim 80U, 75K or 125K flat. But remember, for the person for whom you are claiming 80DD should not claim 80U. Simple. अब 80DDB क्या है? 80DDB flat टॉक करता है मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट के लिए. यहाँ पे there is no word of insurance, no word of maintenance, medical treatment of specified disease. First of all, you have to check. We're talking about some specified diseases, not about some plastic surgery, not about some dental surgery, some specified diseases which are there in the list. ठीक है, उसका medical treatment. Now that medical treatment can be for self or can be for a dependent person. यहाँ पे word disabled मत use करना. Do not use the word disabled. It's only self or dependent person, and that dependent person can be same again spouse, children, brother, sister, or mother, father. Okay, and this can also be claimed by individual and HUF, but here also resident individual and HUF. What is the deduction? Expenditure amount or subject to insurance, or 40K in case of the patient is non-senior citizen, 1 lakh in case the patient is a senior citizen. So now I hope Charu made the difference is clear. 80DD and 80U talks about disability. 80D and 80DDB talks about medical treatment, but 80DDB is for medical treatment for only specified diseases. 80D में medical treatment is there, but provided there should be no insurance and the person we're talking about is a senior citizen. जहाँ पे ये words आएंगे, you have to be careful. 80DD and 80DDB talks about dependency, but 80DD is dependent disability and 80DDB is dependent, maybe suffering from a specified disease. अब बताओ इस पॉइंट पे किसी को कोई भी डाउट? I cannot be, I have tried to make it the best clarity possible. So abhi bhi, if there is any doubt, please do not hesitate. Krishna, कौन से section में you are referring to? Prithvi, both senior citizen and individual, as in you are saying ki individual is also suffering from specified disease and the dependent person is also suffering from specified disease. जो भी situation है, maximum 40,000. अच्छा, the person is a senior citizen, then maximum 1 lakh मिल जाए. ATDD में B में medical treatment only of specified disease. No, Mr. X and his mother cannot, in the case of dependent disability, both Mr. X and his mother respectively cannot claim ATDD and ATU. Either the mother would claim ATU or Mr. X would claim ATDD for maintaining the dependent disabled, who is the mother in this case. You want to take a screenshot? This is though very bad in writing, you can take it. And then we'll proceed with some questions for this. बहुत slowly so that I can help you relate it, because बाद में what happened? Students read it and then say कि सब कुछ तो same लिखा हुआ. That's why I tried to go slowly and step by step, and I hope it is clear. 80DD में the criteria is maintaining, the criteria is medical treatment also, and medical treatment वहाँ पे there is no word like specified disease, because the person is disabled, there can be X number of medical treatment going on. Difference 80DD and 80DDB में 80DDB is for specified disease of dependent, दोनों dependent है, but वहाँ पे specified disease of dependent or self. 80DD में it's only dependent disabled. DD मतलब dependent disabled, उसका maintenance, उसका medical treatment. Komal, please tell me what the doubt is. How come Muhammad's 35 AD came under chapter 60 का deduction? How is even that relatable? Okay, now I've got a very, very good question, and this type of question I would actually want to entertain once you have the concept clarity. So Darshan has asked, with no medical insurance, okay, a person is a senior citizen, and let's say it is that senior citizen is the parent of an individual. Okay, now can a person claim both 80D and 80DDB simultaneously? First of all, a very good question. Now the यहाँ पे क्या है? Let's take with the help of an example. Now this actually is very good relatability and very, very appreciative. So we have a situation where individual is a person, okay? Recessive is the individual. Now his mother is dependent on individual. First of all, dependency is a criteria only for 80DDB if I compare it with 80D. ठीक है, 80D में dependent word use नहीं किया parents के लिए. Now, the mother of the individual does not have any medical expense, any insurance. Now, what happens? The mother is suffering from a specified disease. Individuals spend 1,80,000 on that specified disease. Mother is a senior citizen, no insurance. Now, 1,80,000 has been spent. There is two possibilities. First of all, same expenditure cannot be claimed in both the sections, same amount of expenditure. But if the amount of expenditure is so high, then I can claim it in both the sections. I'll give an example. 180 has been the kharcha. First of all, I will directly claim it under 80DDB of 1 lakh. Now 80,000 is still yet to be claimed, and I have 80D ka window whereby I can claim under the 50,000 category for my parents with no insurance, the medical treatment cost also. So from this 80,000, I can claim as an individual 50,000 here. Got it? So 1 lakh यहाँ पे आ गया and 50,000 यहाँ पे. Now next question which could come in your mind, कि ma'am, what if the expenditure is only 70,000? So in that case, when you have a specific section, first you will approach the specific section. So 80DDB में only you will claim flat 70,000 because amount of expenditure or 1 lakh, that is the limit. Okay. Then same 70,000 को दोबारा claim नहीं करोगे. In this case, the expenditure was 180. 1 lakh was consumed here. 80,000 को 50,000 के bracket में I consumed it here. Okay. So this has to be taken care of. What if the expenditure is 120, 1 lakh and 80DDB, 20,000 and 80D? When you have a specific section for claiming the deduction, first claim the deduction in that section. But then you go to the other section. But remember, for 80DDB, the mother should be dependent upon the individual. But if the mother is not dependent and you are spending upon the medical treatment, then you can only claim in 80D. वर्ड्स को ध्यान रखो, क्रक्स को ध्यान रखो. These are the flags which you should remember. Got it? Preeti, who told you this is the last session? Is anyone rushing over? Nahi na? Darshan, is it clear? Preventive health checkup, my friend, this is different from treatment. Preventive health checkup क्या होता है? So if you have seen the parents in your house or anyone, they say that you should do blood test after every 6 months, full body checkup after every 6 months, or if not 6 months, at least once a year, so that you should know in case some the diagnoses are proper or not. For everything, you do not go for a treatment and get admitted in hospital. Some general things like you go to a physician, you go to any doctor, those are all preventive health checkup. Jisme we are not going for a treatment as a whole, but just for a health checkup, routine checkups. Unka you can claim as deduction under section 80D to an extent of 5,000, even if in cash. Policy or no policy does not matter. Preeti, I think updated schedule would be there. This is the second session on your deduction chapter. There is one more session which will come, so don't worry. Sabko clear hua all the different sections where disability, dependency, medical treatment, insurance, everything is somehow interrelated, but every section is different. So agar wo flags yaad rakhoge, you will remember all those things. Take 1 minute more. वो words को मत miss करना. Whenever you are attempting the section, remember मैम ने dependent disabled word use किया था for ATDD, dependent word use किया था for ATDDB, individual disability use किया था for ATU. Please remember, dependent word ATD में it comes, but it comes only for children. Mohammed, again and again I'm saying, how come 35 AD is related to chapter 6A? कहीं पे भी it's not written a person who has claimed 35 AD cannot claim deduction under chapter 6A. It is nowhere written. What is written is the person who has special rate income cannot claim chapter 6A deduction. 35 AD is not special rate income. 35 AD say losses can be there, but obviously when you have losses, you cannot claim any deduction. You just forget about chapter 6, 35 AD. Preventive health checkup ka amount is 5,000 for senior citizen also. In case the mother has insurance, would the reduction be from the amount claim under 80DDB and then we use? No, insurance is not for 80DDB. Guys, 80DDB is medical treatment expenditure. I am saying if you receive any insurance claim kya hota hai? When you have an insurance and the expenditure is covered up or reimbursed for that treatment, that is insurance claim. Insurance का खर्चा would not be allowed under 80DDB. Insurance claim would be reduced from the expenditure. मैंने 50,000 अपनी जेब से खर्च किए, but अब claim में I have received 30,000. So what is the net expenditure? 20,000, na? So 20,000 or the limit we have to compare. Challenge guys, आगे, is it still anywhere? Anyone is getting stuck? ठीक है, श्योर? आयशा, अगर इंश्योरेंस है तो हाउ कैन यू क्लेम एटीडी में मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट? The condition for ATD में medical treatment is that you cannot have the insurance and that's why you are claiming the medical treatment. Sorry, the internet just went off. I hope the screen is visible. Good, everyone is trying to relate the maximum they can and that is very good. Next, today we start with, अब चलिए हमने बहुत इसको, we have done it with all due respect and all types of possibilities. Next, we proceed with section 80E. E for education. The section 80E talks about deduction in respect of education. No, it would be wrong. Deduction in respect of loan taken and उसपे whatever interest is being paid for higher education. So the focus should be on interest on loan. Kharcha is for loan? No. Kharcha is for higher education? No. Kharcha, which the deduction which is allowed here is for the interest on loan for higher education. Now, ये तीन term पढ़ती, सबसे पहले the question comes, ma'am, what all are the condition for section 80E? Now, 80E mean there is first of all an education loan. Education loan for what purpose? Education loan for a higher, for any course after your senior secondary examination or simple word में for higher education. मतलब 12th के बाद, after 12th, if for some higher education purpose the loan is being taken, उसका interest would be allowed as deduction. Higher it can be any education. It can be for IIM, IIT. It can be for in India education or even outside India education. Until and unless a person is a wealthy or a very rich parent, otherwise all parents send people abroad for education, their children abroad for education on loans. So outside India wala bhi education loan is covered here. So remember when I was talking about tuition fees, I told you under section 80C the education should be in India. But yahan pe, when I'm talking about interest on loan and education, the education can be anywhere outside India also, but after 12th, okay? In India also or outside India also, higher education hona chahiye. Uske liye you have taken the loan, pay whatever interest you are paying would be allowed as deduction. There is no limit. Whatever interest you have been paying during the year, you can claim it as deduction. But the question comes, कि ma'am, education kiska? Self ka? Kiska? So first of all, this section which allows individual to claim the deduction, the education can be for self, as in I have taken an education loan to study to Harvard. I can claim deduction under section 80E. For spouse, I have taken a loan today. I'm paying the interest on education loan for my spouse education to Harvard. No problem. And obviously children or any person for whom the assessee is a legal guardian, uske bhi education ke liye, if the loan is taken, the deduction can be claimed. So यहाँ पे parents do not come. Parents के education के लिए loan पे you cannot claim 80E. Self, spouse, children. यहाँ पे इंटरेस्ट का रिडक्शन है, स्कूल फीस का नहीं है गाइस, लोन अमाउंट का नहीं है, इंटरेस्ट ऑन लोन का है। ओके, नाउ एजुकेशन लोन लेना कहाँ से, फ्रॉम whom that education loan has to be taken? Can it be an education loan from anyone, or there is any criteria? So first of all, the loan should be taken from any bank, any financial institution, or approved charitable institution. सबसे नहीं लोन लेना लोन, from any bank, financial institution, and approved charitable institution. Okay, and the last part which you have to remember here is that interest का there is no limit. Interest on loan अगर आपका 1 crore है, आपने हार्वर्ड में पढ़ाने के लिए बहुत महंगा लोन लिया हो, इंटरेस्ट अगर आपका 1 crore तो थोड़ा सा इम्प्रैक्टिकल, इंटरेस्ट ऑन लोन अगर आपका 40 lakhs भी है, 10 lakhs भी है, 15 lakhs भी है, you can claim पूरा subject to the gross total income. But remember, the maximum interest which you can claim or the maximum period for which you can claim is 8 assessment years. 8 assessment years only. Ab ma'am, 8 assessment years from when it will start? Now, practically, friends, when you take an education loan, there's a moratorium period because till the time that, and generally people take it for universities and higher, like diploma courses, or for 2-3 years का जो course होता है उसके लिए generally takes, and that is a moratorium period where interest gets accrued but you do not have to pay it. Okay, EMI generally starts from the year when the loan is when the education is completed. Generally, it happens. So for you, you don't have to go into the practicalities or nitty-gritties. You have to just remember one thing: from the year when the interest starts, उस year से interest on loan, when you start repaying that, that becomes first year plus next 7 assessment years. May you can claim the interest on loan. If the loan is for longer period, you cannot claim it for the longer period. You can only claim the interest on loan as deduction under section 80E for that respective loan for maximum 8 assessment years. For maximum 8 assessment years, including the year starting from when you started paying the interest, us saal plus next 7. So either it's written 1 plus 7 or maximum 8 years, it's the same thing. Okay. For which, for a respective loan. So if today I start paying it, so the interest I can claim it in this previous year and next 7 previous years. Clear? Next here, let's do a question. Mr. B has taken 3 education loan on April 1, 2022. Details of which are given below. For whose education the loan has been taken? एक तो B के लिए, एक son of B के लिए, and एक daughter of B के लिए. यहाँ पे कोई भी 2 children criteria भी नहीं है, nothing. Purpose is MBA, BSc, BA. All qualifies to be a higher education. Amount of loan दिया हुआ है, repayment of loan दिया हुआ है, interest दिया हुआ है. What would be the amount to be claimed under section 80E? The interest part. So 20 plus 18 plus 20 plus 10 plus 18. Total the person can claim is 48,000 under section 80E. So first criteria should be, the purpose should be higher education. Then you see for whom the loan is taken. Then you see it is within the assessment year, and then claim it. There is no ceiling limit. Any person, यहाँ पे I have not written resident, non-resident, so any individual can claim it. No, 80 is not for HUF. 80E में कोई doubt? Simple सा है. So whenever education loan comes, you should remember, you have to apply 80E. क्वेश्चन डायरेक्ट नहीं होंगे. You have to put a flag check that what are the key terms which could make me apply those sections. Okay, now next proceed to the next section. This section is not very relevant because of the loan period. It might be asked or it might not be asked, but let's discuss. ATEE, section 80EE. This is again E's की series से ना interest on loan शुरू हो जाता. 80EE is interest on loan. But what loan? Interest in housing loan. So what are the criteria? Interest on loan borrowed for acquisition of house property by individual. First of all, to be eligible under this section, you have to be an individual. No HGF is allowed. Okay. You have to be an individual who has taken loan for acquiring a residential property from any bank or financial institution, and you are paying interest. So the deduction is again for interest on a loan taken for acquiring a residential house. First of all, loan has to be taken from any bank, financial institution, number one. The loan has to be sanctioned during the previous year 16-17. Loan sanctioning क्या होता है guys? So loan का भी बहुत सारे stages होते हैं. One is application stage where you apply for loan. Another is sanction stage where the loan is approved and sanctioned, and another is disbursement stage where the amount of loan would be disbursed as in given to the assessee. So यहाँ पे sanctioning का criteria है. Sanctioning should be between previous year 16-17. Okay. ना उससे पहले ना उसके बाद, in the previous year 16-17 आपने loan आपको sanction हुआ. The loan was sanctioned in the previous year 16-17. The loan का amount is not more than 35 lakhs. So if loan ka amount is more than 35 lakhs, 80EE would not be applicable. Also, the property for which you have taken the loan, the value of that property should not be more than 50 lakhs. So now can I come to the purpose of the scheme? The scheme was introduced for people to, or I should say the section was introduced for the people to invest in house, so that they should invest more in house. At least they should have that house. The purpose was हर इंसान के पास एक घर हो. Everyone should own a house. With that purpose, ATEE was introduced. And house, say they mean a basic house. We're not talking about villas or luxurious flats. एक basic house. तो ये सबके लिए नहीं, ये उनके लिए था. So people at least have a house. And the value of house is not more than 50 lakhs, and the value of loan for that is not more than 35 lakhs. Okay? And since I was talking about the purpose क्या है कि सबके पास एक घर हो. तो जिसके पास already घर है, the person who already had a house or has a house, he cannot claim ATEE, except for the house for which he is claiming ATEE. If on the date of sanction of loan he already has a residential house, then the purpose for introducing section 80EE gets defeated. Purpose for introducing section 80EE was to motivate people to buy their house. But if a person already has a house, then 80EE is not for him, even if all these conditions are fulfilled. So whatever conditions which you see on the screen are to be fulfilled in total, as in all the conditions has to be fulfilled. Value of house 50 से cross हुआ, ATEE not eligible. Assessee के पास already house है, ATEE not eligible. Loan was sanctioned before 2016 ATE not eligible. Loan sanction after 2017 ATE not eligible. Yes, whatever loan is going on since that time, uska interest you would be paying, and that you have to claim as deduction. And this deduction, guys, is an additional deduction of 50,000. And now when I use the word additional, why I use the word additional? Because interest on loan ka reduction, friend, is allowed under section 24B. Remember? So wahan pe, because of self-occupancy, you cannot claim more than 2 lakhs. तो बाकी अगर एक सेल्फ ऑक्यूपाइड हाउस है, यू कैन नॉट क्लेम इंटरेस्ट मोर देन 2 लाख. रेस्ट क्या होता है, व्हाट हैपेंस टू द रेस्ट ऑफ द इंटरेस्ट? इट गेट्स लैप्स और इट गेट्स wasted. So that excess interest you can claim it under ATEE. But remember, same amount पे आप 24B and ATE same पे you cannot claim. For example, I have only paid interest on loan of 1,40,000. So I will claim it under section 24B. I will not claim it under section ATEE. Now you will say, ma'am, why? Because guys, if in case I'm claiming it under 24B, it would be my loss, and loss can be carry forwarded. But यहाँ पे I cannot carry forward anything. 50,000 तक है और only 50,000 तक है. If I cannot claim because of my gross total income, the deduction would not be carry forwarded. Remember in the last class we discussed. So first of all, whenever a person is having a loan which is eligible for section ATEE, then also first the interest of it should be claimed under 24B. Uske alawa, if there is any excess amount, that should be claimed under ATEE. Okay, so suppose the interest on loan for that self-occupied property is 2,80,000. Then what you will do, first 2 lakh would be claimed under section 24B. Now out of remaining 80,000, you can claim 50,000 under ATEE. Clear? So with those conditions in mind, you should remember ATEE claim karna hai ya nahi. So how would you remember it in exam? ATEE has to be claimed or not? Immediately when the loan date is 16-17, value of house is less than 50, loan sanction is less than 35, ATE ka question hai. First, total calculate the interest on loan. First, claim it under section 24B. Uske baad 2 lakh ke baad extra, if there is any interest, claim it under ATE. Got it? So that is a deduction for ATEE. What happened? People objected the scheme. They said 16-17 kahi only period you have given as loan. You want us to invest in house, give us more time. So for that, a new section was covered. The people who have not invested or not got the benefit of ATEE, they will now get a benefit under section ATEEA. And this scheme came with a higher deduction, which we will talk about after break. But before going on break, ATEE tak kisi ko koi doubt hai, we'll do quickly a question on your screen. Mr. A purchased a residential house property for self-occupation at a cost of 45 lakhs on 1st April 2017. Ghar aapne April mein liya, 17-18 mein liya, does not matter. You have taken a house in 17-18, it does not matter. The question is loan sanctioning. That's why I gave that 3 stages: sanctioning. Before that, there is application, approval, sanction, disbursement. Sanction, blindly just use the word sanction and look for it. In respect of which he took a housing loan of 35 lakhs from Bank of India at 11% per annum rate. Okay, the loan was sanctioned on 28 March 2017. Compute eligible deduction in respect of interest and housing loan under provision of section 24, assuming that the entire loan was outstanding on 31st March 2023 and he does not own any other property. Even if that assumption is not written in, he does not own any other house property, you have to give that exemption. Okay? So first of all, 35 lakh pe 11% kitna bana guys? 3,85,000. Now first of all, you will claim under section 24B 2 lakh rupees. Why? Because सबसे पहले 24B में use that limit पूरा of 2 lakhs claim कर लिया. उसके बाद still 185,000 is left to be claimed, right? That can be claimed under ATEE, but maximum which you can claim is only 50,000. So because of ATEE, a person who was only getting the benefit of interest on loan under 24B can now claim more benefit of interest on loan under section ATEE. But I'm saying again and again, same amount पे दोनों जगह नहीं मिलेगा. पहले उस amount को 24B में use करो. Then if still some amount is left, then ATEE में use that amount. Got it? If individual has one house, he cannot claim ATEE if he's taking loan for another house. Aisha, how does that matter if the rate is different? आपने loan convert करा लिया, that does not matter. Loan initial sanction हुआ था, that is what is important. Okay. Now post break, we will start with ATEE, ATEE-B, ATG, and ATGG if the time allows. Okay. So please quickly come back after the break. Thank you. Welcome back after the break, guys. I hope किसी को अभी तक whatever section which we have covered वहाँ पे कोई doubt नहीं है. Anyone has any doubt, please feel free to ask. Again and again, I'm focusing section. What is the eligible investment expenditure of that section? Who can claim it? Maximum deductions and other conditions का pointer. This chart, everywhere you will get these first pro things, but other conditions का pointers, if you will not be able to learn it, then there would be no point in remembering the limits also. Okay. So now let's discuss with the next section, because you must have felt high and dry that मैम सिर्फ एक साल का टाइम दिया टू अप्लाई द लोन. तो गवर्नमेंट सेड ओके वी कम विद अ बेटर स्कीम एंड वी कम विद अ बेटर इंटरेस्ट. So same, as they told, they came up with the better interest scheme under section 80 double EA. Double EA. This is also same. Which is again, I told you E for education, interest on education. AE मतलब residential property का, but 16-17 वाला. EA again residential house property, interest on loan for the residential house property you can claim under EA. But when to go for EA? When to go for EA? If the loan is sanctioned between 16-17 plus other conditions being fulfilled, then EE. Then when EA, if the loan is sanctioned from any bank or financial institutions, including NBFCs, between 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2022. This is also for first-time home buyers. Individuals should not own any residential house on the date of sanction of loan. Loan के बाद, maybe after an year or so, maybe after a certain time, he can own another house. But at the time of sanctioning of the loan, it should be ultimately his first house or there should be no house. Okay. Next is the stamp duty value. Now, यहाँ पे friends, you have to focus on the thing. The stamp duty value under section 80 EE, which is 80 double E. First of all, they have not used the word stamp duty value. They've only used the word value when I talk about 80 double E. But when I talk about 80 double EA, they've used the word specifically stamp duty value. Then that stamp duty value should not be more than 45 lakhs. यहाँ पे loan का there is no mentioning that the loan should be some percentage of the house. No. Stamp duty value should be 45 lakhs. Loan can be 45 lakhs also. It does not matter. What matter is the loan should be sanctioned between 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2022. Matlab now the window was open for 2 years. Earlier the window was only open for 1 year to claim 80 double E. But 80 double E A claim करने के लिए the window got open for 2 years. But the condition is only the stamp duty value. So whenever you're writing 80 double EA, you cannot miss the word stamp duty. It should not be more than 45 lakhs. No other house, loan from any bank or financial institutions. NBFCs nahi hai guys, sorry, isme only bank and financial institutions. And simple, maximum interest here is 1,50,000. 1,50,000. And obviously the individual is not claiming 80 double E, tabhi he can claim 80 double EA. The maximum deduction allowed is 1,50,000 over and above what you are claiming under section 24B. So now same situation. What is, suppose the interest is 3 lakhs. So what will I do? First 24B may I will claim 2 lakhs and then under section 80 EA I will claim 1 lakh. Please, I am not claiming the same interest in both the section. I have divided an amount of interest. First, I'm claiming in 24B and then I'm claiming 80AA. If the amount is 1,50,000, interest is only 1,50,000, तब क्या करूंगी? Under section 24B, I will completely claim 150. Not under this section. Why? Because even if I have loss, but वो carry forward हो जाएगा. The moment I will claim it here, I cannot claim more than the gross total income, even if I'm within those specific limit, right? So it's better first always claim under section 24B, then go to 80EA. So when these sections were introduced, housing loans sector was booming. They started convincing people saying that you loan le lo, take the loan, because now you will get more deduction for the lifetime of the loan, which is like close to 1,50,000 more. And when I talk about close to 1,50,000 more, that means you can save approximately 45,000 to 50,000 of your taxes. So this was a very, very motivating scheme for people to invest in houses. अगर there would have been no sunset clause क्या कहते हैं, वो जो closing window होता है, people would not have taken it seriously. Okay, so 80EA clear? NBFCs में housing finance company. Next, fourth section of interest is, this is like something which has been popular now for a long time. Interest on loan, again, loan of what? Purchase of electric vehicle. Electric vehicle के लिए loan लिया, उसका interest deduction allowed under section 80EEB. Do I need to tell more why this section was introduced? Again, for people to promote them, to motivate them to take electric vehicles. Uske liye they came up with a deduction. See, government is very smart. Any tax changes come would be either to motivate you or would be either to compensate for the expenditure which government would have done for you. Then it's a proper ecosystem. ऐसा नहीं है कि government को जिस पे मन करता है उस पे deduction दे देते हैं. If you have picked up this section which we have covered, it's either for social security, for medical security, for medical reasons, for enabling the disabled. So there is some social economic factors in all these deductions, right? Kuch social economic background motive hai. Similarly, in 80EEB also, government came Q so that people could be, I'm so sorry. People could be motivated enough to invest in electric vehicle. So electric vehicle ke liye, if you're taking any loan, you can claim 80EEB. But the question is, loan should be only for electric vehicle, can only be allowed to individual. Abhi tak, we have not studied any section where we have talked about companies, etc. Either it's individual or individual and HUF both, or in case of some 80DD and 80DDB, resident individual and HUF. Okay? Remember those things also. You can be checked on any flags. The loan should be sanctioned by financial institutions, bank or specified NBFCs. Loan should be sanctioned between 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2023. Abhi just few months back, this window got closed. So, April, matlab 1920, 2021, 21, 22 and 22, 23. 4 years ka window diya hua hai yahan pe. Wahan pe 3 years ka tha. Sorry, I took it 2 years. Yeah. So, 4 years ka window has been given. 4 years means kabhi bhi you have to take the loan for electric vehicle. यहाँ पे कहीं पे भी नहीं लिखा the condition that you cannot have more than one electric vehicle. So yes, you can claim the loan का interest on loan under section 80EEB for even 2 electric vehicles. But the quantum of interest which would be allowed is 1,50,000. 1,50,000 tak you can claim deduction under section 80EEB. Or kahin pe bhi you cannot claim the deduction. So when they say you cannot claim the deduction of this interest, that means you cannot claim it under your PGBP income also. So aisa nahi hai that PGBP income mein you are showing interest on loan and at the same time you are claiming again under 80EEB. That would be wrong. Again, एक तरीके से यू आर रिड्यूसिंग द प्रॉफिट्स, उसके बाद प्रॉफिट्स, रिड्यूस प्रॉफिट से यू आर अगेन क्लेमिंग 80 EEB. That would be wrong. So if you are claiming interest on loan as your business expenditure, you cannot claim again under 80 EEB. That is pretty obvious. Okay, clear? So if I take a question, you have be seeing there's a particular case of A, B, C, and D. A has taken a loan of 43 lakhs. Please guys focus on the screen. B has taken a loan of 45 lakhs. C 20 and D 15. पहले A की बात करते हैं, okay, and then we'll go to B, C, and D. Okay. So loan has been taken from HFC. Date of sanction of loan is 1st April 21. Date of disbursement is 1st May 21. Purpose of loan, which is very important. Acquisition of residential house property for self-occupation. Self-occupation है, residential house property है, window कौन सा वाला है? 80 EE A वाला, 80 EE A वाला, okay. Stamp duty value is 45 lakhs. Interest दिया हुआ है 9%. The first question is, all the conditions of 80 EEA is fulfilled, yes or no? Yes, okay. Interest 45 lakhs पे 9%. Loan कितने का है? Sorry, stamp duty पे नहीं. Loan is 43 lakhs. 43 lakhs पे 9%. 3,87,000. अब 3,87,000 में से फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल 24B में I will claim 2 lakh and 80EE में I will claim 1,50,000. बस simple. कोई doubt? Okay. Now let's move to another person. Another person जी है हमारे Mr. D, who has taken something got stuck in the eyes. Okay, who has taken a loan of 45 lakhs for deposit from an NBFC. Okay, and loan is between the sanction time limit of 1922, which is fine, but stamp duty value is 48 lakhs. क्या करें? 80EE देंगे? नहीं देंगे. But 24B तो मिलेगा guys. 80EE, why 80EE is not there? Because first of all, stamp duty value is more than 45 lakhs. Second thing, loan is taken from NBFC. NBFC is only there for 80EEB, not for your 80EEA or 80EE. Okay. So 1st April 20 को लोन लिया, no problem. 48 lakhs पे guys 9%, 45 lakhs पे 9% comes to 4,05,000, but maximum under 24B would be allowed to 2 lakhs. Okay. Next interesting, deposit is taken from NBFC. Very good. 2020 में लोन लिया, लोन कितने का लिया? 20 lakhs का Mr. C ने. Purpose of electric vehicle. Very good. Electric vehicle, that means 80EEB. वहाँ पे cost of electric vehicle कहीं पे भी there is no criteria. Only criteria is electric vehicle loan should be taken, and that's it within that window. And that window may they have taken the loan to 22 lakhs पे. Electric vehicle का 22 lakhs नहीं करोगे, 20 lakhs पे 10% comes to 2 lakh, but maximum 1,50,000 you can claim. Next, purchase of electric vehicle for personal use, commercial use does not matter. Now Mr. D can claim 80EEB. पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक से लिया, 15 लाख का लिया, परचेज ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल है, पर्सनल यूज है, 18 लाख से ले सकते हैं? नो, बिकॉज लोन सैंक्शनिंग हैज हैपेंड बिफोर 1st April 2019. This came from 1st April 2019. So Mr. D missed it by 1 day. This is when tax planning matters. Got it? Yes, 1,50,000 each year, Darshan, each year. Loan sanction to an individual. दोनों जगह भूमिका, you're using the word sanction. Sanction is important. Disbursal has happened after The closing window does not matter. Property actually registry happened after the closing window does not matter. The term sanctioned is used and you have to blindly go by the term sanction. Yes, Darshan, there is no limit for sanctioning of the loan on ATEEA. Interest on education loan, interest on housing loan. I hope is it clear. So ATE, interest paid on education loan taken for higher education. Individual it get and the deduction is interest during the year. There is no limit, but the thing is maximum 8 assessment year. ATEE, interest payable for loan taken for acquisition of residential property. Loan to be sanctioned between 1st April 2016 to 31st March 2017. Again, only individual is allowed, maximum 50,000. ATEEA, interest on loan taken for acquisition of residential property. Loan has to be sanctioned between 1st April 2019 till 31st March 2022. Only to individual, maximum 1,50,000. And ATEEB, interest on loan taken for acquiring an electric vehicle, only allowed to individual, maximum 150. Got it? Chalo. Next section is a very important section. So before we proceed, agar kahin pe bhi doubt hai, take a deep breath, let me know so that ATG cannot be missed because it is extremely important for your purpose. It would definitely come as a question. So please do not miss it. Just give me a moment and I'll be back. Just one second. Absolutely, Aisha. Stamp duty value isliye because you learn from the mistakes. As in the government also said कि अगर we will not write about the stamp duty value, people can modify it to get the benefit. So whatever is the registry amount, that should be the criteria. So guys, next very important section is section 80G. Now this, if I have to just say it in one word, this section is actually for donations. Abhi tak kahin pe bhi we did not cover the section which had all assessees into it. All assessee matlab any type of assessee, company can claim the deduction, HF can claim the deduction, individual can claim deductions, partnership firm can claim deduction. ATG mein the donation is there for everyone. So let's discuss how do we get the donation ka deduction under section 80G. Problem now is the pay. Okay. So resident, non-resident does not matter. Everyone can claim deduction, but let's start. First of all, SSC, I've spoken, residential status does not matter. The donation has to be done to eligible funds and institutions. Before I move on to the list of eligible funds and institutions, I want to give you clarity. ATG is for donations, but donation is one such thing which people can use to whatever extent they want to. So in order that it does not get misused, there is one important thing, that the donation in excess of 2000 cannot be made in cash. As in 2000 tak ka cash donation is allowed. More than that cannot be made, or can be made, but you cannot claim it. You cannot claim it. So ATG ko claim karne ke liye, the donation should be in through any account be check, account be bank draft, UPI, electronic clearing system, any mode, but not cash. Donation can also not be in kind to claim section ATG. Ab ye dikha do that you have given stuff of rupees 50,000, 60,000. No, it should be in any mode, or I should say account be check, account be bank draft, your ECS, your electronic methods. It can be in those mode, but not in cash. Okay. Now there are 4 different quantums for claiming ATG ka reduction. And understanding those 4 different quantums is very important. First quantum is without any limit. Second quantum is with limit. I said 4, you said, ma'am, ye to 2 hi likhe aapne. Isme there are further division. Without any limit mein, whatever donation you claim, you pay, you can claim 100% of donation. Category 1. Category 2 means you can claim 50% of donation as deduction. That means if I've contributed 100 rupees, I'm allowed to claim 50 rupees. But there is no limit in the sense, there is no maximum ceiling limit. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, कुछ adjusting limit नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है. Whatever you pay, you can claim as deduction. Whatever you donate, I should use the word, you can claim as deduction. So if in the first stance I have paid So if I have donated 2 lakhs rupees, I can claim donation of 2 lakh rupees in the first category. If my donation is in the first category, and that would depend upon the donee. Sorry, that would depend upon the donee. मतलब मैं किसको donate कर रही हूँ, basis that this limit would be decided. So if the donee comes under first category, I can claim 100% deductions. If the donee comes under second category, I can claim 50% as deduction. 1 lakh rupees का contribution किया, 50,000 allowed होगा. But first category में 1 lakh का contribution donation किया, 1 lakh would be allowed. Whatever is the donation, that would be allowed. So yes, this might be coming in your mind, like companies can donate crores and claim deduction. Yes, they can donate crores. In the first category, claim deductions of crores subject to their gross total income. Similarly, they can donate crores and claim the reduction up to 50%, again subject to the gross, because gross total income se zyada deductions cannot be there. Deductions cannot be more than your gross total income, correct? Then what is this limit wala category, ma'am? So isme first of all you will calculate the limit, which we call as qualifying limit. After that qualifying limit, to the extent of only qualifying limit, you will claim 100% deduction or 50% deduction. So first you have to calculate your qualifying limit. Now from the qualifying limit, you will first consume the element which is of my third category, which you can claim up to 100%. So suppose my qualifying limit comes to 2 lakh. How will this qualifying limit come? I will tell you, but please focus here. This is the most important point. So suppose my qualifying limit comes to 2 lakh. Now out of this 2 lakh, if I made the donation in third category of say 40,000 and 50,000. So I can claim pura 40,000 and 50,000 subject to the qualifying limit. 100% deduction can be claimed in the third category subject to the qualifying limit. So 90,000 completely claimed. Now the remaining is 1 lakh. $10,000. Okay. Now the remaining is 1,10,000. Now comes the point of 50% deduction. Now comes the point of 50% deduction. So अब इस category में whatever is there, suppose इस category में the donation which is there is of 60,000. So 1,10,000, 60,000 में obviously 60,000 is the donation which is there. So 60,000 once qualified, इसको I will make 50% and then I will claim the deduction. And then I will claim the deductions. So can I say the donation are of 4 categories, the deduction or donation are of 4 categories. One is without any limit, flat 100% of the donation can be claimed, or flat 50% of the donation can be claimed as deduction. But this qualifying limit has to be calculated for the third and fourth category. Once the qualifying limit has calculated, first I will exhaust 100% category wala from that qualifying limit. Then whatever is left from that qualifying limit versus the fourth category, whichever is lower, उसमें उसके बाद 50% would be claimed. उसके बाद 50% would be allowed to be claimed. Got it? So ma'am, what are these categories? Finally, let's discuss about that and then we'll come back to the example, definitely. So first of all, the first category, since it's a without limit category, these are not allowed to anyone or everyone. Donation यहाँ पे specifically should be some government related organizations, some public welfare related organization. Those are only allowed. So if I will read all the entire list, you will be like, I mean, sab yaad karna padega. It's 24 items. So I will quickly show you some words here. It talks about National Defense Fund, Prime Minister National Fund, PMK is also there now. So, 1 second. Just look at the words, okay? 100% category. National Defense Fund, Prime Minister se related, all the funds are coming. Prime Minister Earthquake Fund, Africa ka Public Fund is there, National Children Fund, National Foundation, Chief Minister's Earthquake Fund, Gujarat Earthquake Fund, any Zilla Samaksh Samriti Fund is coming, National Blood Fund, Medical Relief to the Poor State Fund, Army Fund, Air Force Fund, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Fund, National Illness Fund, again Chief Minister Fund for Lieutenant Governors, National Sports Fund. So if you see the term, the national or Chief Minister or Prime Minister or some public at large causes there. Fund for Technology of Central Government, National Trust for Autism, Cerebral Palsy, Mental Retardation and Multiple Disability, Swachh Bharat Kosh, Clean Ganga Fund, National Fund for Control of Drug Abuse and PMKS Fund, which has been recently added. So ma'am, that means in sabko agar we are making a contribution, 100% is allowed as deduction. So ma'am, what is for 50% then? So if you will remember कि 50% में क्या है, उसके अलावा all the Prime Minister related, Chief Minister related, national welfare related would go in the 100% category. Because 50% category में क्या है? The Nehru family, Jawaharlal Nehru Fund, Indira Gandhi Fund, and Rajiv Gandhi. Jawaharlal Nehru, daughter Indira Gandhi, son उनका राजीव गांधी, इंदिरा गांधी सन, ओके. एंड उसके अलावा एक only Prime Minister Fund is there, which is under 50% category, which is drought fund. Drought fund is under 50% category. You can remember it through some political connection, but at this stage where everyone is watching, I will not help you remembering it through political thing. But yes, you can remember it the way you want to. Okay. So can I now say that any national chief minister, etc., fund would go under 100% category, provided only 4 funds are there, which are there in my 50% category: the Nehru Family Fund, Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi. ओके और एक ड्रॉट रिलीफ फंड बस. उसके अलावा प्राइम मिनिस्टर रिलेटेड एनी फंड कम्स, नेशनल रिलेटेड एनी फंड कम्स, some national issue related any fund is coming, army related, Ganga related, Swachh Bharat related, वो 100% category. So that means if a donation is made to category 2 of say 4 lakhs, what would be the eligible deduction? 2 lakhs. If a donation is made in category 1 of say 3 lakhs, what would be the eligible deduction? 3 lakhs complete. Category 1, 100%, category 2, 50%. Got it? Now, category 3, subject to qualifying limit. How do we calculate qualifying limit? I'll answer that. But category 3 talks about donation for 100% deduction subject to qualifying limit. अब इसमें दो ही है. One is related to family planning, but general government approved or local authority institution for family planning, and one is for Indian Olympic Association. This you have to remember. A sum paid to a company, a sum paid by a company. First of all, this is only for company. The company is making donation. So यहाँ पे all SSCs is not there. The company is making a donation to Indian Olympic Association or any related fund. तब 100% deduction. So Olympic or family planning would दिखा. So you know it's about third category. Then ma'am, what is the fourth category? Fourth category is any notified residue category which can come under the fourth category. And mind you people, fourth category is the biggest category going on, in the sense there are n number of donees under this category, so you cannot list them. But yes, these donees are the one who are legitimate donees. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने अपने सोसाइटी में डोनेट कर दिया so I can claim the deduction. No, the donee should be either an institution fund established for charitable purpose. It can be any government or local authority utilization for charitable purpose other than family planning. या तो institution fund है या कोई government का body है for charitable purpose, or any institute which is there for housing development, or any government promoting body for minority communities, for renovation, repairs of notified temples, archaeological places or any public places, उन सब के लिए है. And they have to, these donees, to be eligible for us to make or for us to claim deduction as the category 4. These donees should be either registered under section 80G subsection 5. I'll show you here also. यहाँ पे आप लोगों के लिए it is mandatory or not? अच्छा, it's not. So these donees should be the eligible donees. अब मैम ये क्या है? So अब I will name you few foundations. You must have heard about Keto, about Give India, about Cry India, about temples. When you go to temples and when you make a donation, I'm not talking about the donation in the Dan Patra. I'm talking about the donation which you go and make to their office. If in any case you have a chance to go through those receipts, if in any case you have a chance to go through those receipts, you will see, my friends, that under all these particular receipts, it would be written that this donation is eligible for deduction under section 80G because the donee is registered donee under section 80G subsection 5. Donee is registered, it's an approved institution. That's why this donation is eligible for deduction under section 80G. If you have gone to Vaishno Devi, you have taken a receipt, वहां पे it's written eligible for 80G subsection 5. If you're making a payment to Cry India, वहां पे लिखा होगा eligible because they are again further doing it for charitable purpose. लिखा होगा on the slip that this donation is eligible for section 80G और लिखा होगा that we are a qualified institution of deduction or we comply with the rules and conditions written under section 80G subsection 5. Hence, your donation is eligible for deduction. All of these would be written there that your donation is eligible for deduction or we are a institution that complies with the condition of 80G subsection 5. Then only you can claim the donation under category 4. ऐसा नहीं है that today I go and I donate in any random dan patra or any welfare scheme going in my office, going in my cooperative societies. No, I cannot claim blindly the deduction under section 80G category 4. For that, the donor, the donee fund or the donee institution should comply with 80G subsection 5. Then only I can claim the deduction under section 80G category 4. Okay, got it? But now the question comes that how the qualifying limit has to be calculated. Okay. So qualifying limit calculate करने का guys बहुत simple सा तरीका है. It's very simple. You have to come. Qualifying limit is nothing but 10% of adjusted total income. Now you will say कि ma'am what is adjusted total income? Now this is the problem यहाँ पे कि ma'am what is adjusted total income? So I told you qualifying limit is equal to 10% of adjusted total income. And what is adjusted total income? Adjusted total income, my friend, is all the entire income, which is my gross total income, minus deductions under chapter 6A. Now you will say कि ma'am ये तो पता ही नहीं है. You don't know about 80G, but otherwise all deduction under chapter 6A should be reduced. All special rate incomes should be reduced in respect of capital gain. 111A, 112 and 112A. उसके बाद whatever income is there, that is my adjusted total income. उसका 10% would be my qualifying limit. Would be my qualifying limit. Now उस qualifying limit पे first I will use 100% of the third category. Then whatever is left or the qualifying limit, say whatever is left and whatever is the donation of the fourth category, whichever is lower I will pick, and then uska 50% would be allowed. Got it? Now let's do some questions in respect to it. Shiva, aged 58 years, has a gross total income of 7,75,000, comprising of income from salary and house property. He has made the following payments and investments. Premium paid to insurance of life of a major daughter. Okay. Policy taken on 1st April 2018. ठीक है. Premium insurance, medical insurance premium for self 12,000. Okay. Donation to public charitable institution 50,000 by way of check. Very important. LIC pension fund 60,000. Donation to National Children's Fund 25,000 by way of check. Donation to Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Fund 25,000. Donation for family planning 40,000 and deposit in PPF. Very good, 1 lakh. Very good, Shiva. So let's do the question. Now 7,75,000 friends is the gross total income. सबसे पहले 80C को आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं. 80C के लिए will this qualify? Daughter insurance would qualify, yes, but to the extent of only 18,000. यहाँ पे major daughter does not matter. Only thing matters is the daughter is there. Policy taken after 1st April 2018. Assured value is 1,80,000. So 10% is allowed, which is 18,000 would be allowed, 2,000 would not be allowed. Okay. Then 1 lakh of PPF, which I saw नीचे. यहाँ पे PPF आ गया 80C में. Very good. Total 80C में 1,18,000 आ गया. Then this LIC pension fund goes under 80CCC and you have to write it in 80CCC. But problem क्या है friends? 1,18,000 plus 60 goes to 178. So 80C में maximum which plus 80CCE का condition लगा के maximum which would be allowed would be 1,50,000. ठीक है? ये clear हो गया. Then about medical treatment, medical insurance premium 12,000 खुद का, 14,000 spouse का, 26,000 maximum allowed would be 25,000. Now comes the main thing. Donation to public charitable institution by way of check. This, guys, goes in my fourth category. Okay. Donation to National Children's Fund. This goes in my first category. 100% reduction. Jawaharlal Nehru Fund, second category. Family planning, third category. Okay. And PPF to clear. Now let's talk about how to calculate the deduction of donations. Step up, let's see. सबसे पहले 25,000 completely allowed, which was for first category of National Children Fund. Jawaharlal Nehru Fund donation was 25,000. Allowed only 50% because it comes under second category. 12,500. Now donation of 40 and 50,000 are there. What is the qualifying limit? How do I calculate the qualifying limit? 7,75,000 minus 1,50,000 minus 25 would be my qualifying limit, because gross total income minus all deductions minus special rate income of capital gain would come to, except ATG obviously, would give me my qualifying limit and would give me my adjusted total income. Uska 10% would be my qualifying limit. Adjusted total income is 6 lakhs. Qualifying limit would be 60,000. कोई डाउट? यहाँ पे क्वालिफाइंग लिमिट 60,000 था. अब इस 60,000 से I have to claim 100% of the first part, which is 40,000. So 40,000 can be fully claimed. Yes, 40,000 can be fully claimed. If suppose qualifying limit would have been 30,000, so maximum 30,000 would be allowed. And category 4 के लिए कुछ बचता ही नहीं. Category 4 के लिए there would have been no amount, because qualifying limit से ज़्यादा you cannot claim. You cannot claim more than qualifying limit. Next part is how much amount is still left from the qualifying limit? 20,000. But the donation in the fourth category is 50,000. So maximum कितना allowed होगा इस दोनों में से? 20. Now 20,000 का 50% would be allowed. 50% subject to the qualifying limit. So 20,000 ka 50% is 10,000, which would be allowed in fourth category. You will not do it like 20,000 is still left from the qualifying limit pool and fourth category में 50,000 है, तो इसको पहले 50% करके you then compare it with 20,000. No. How much amount is left from the qualifying limit? Compare it with the fourth category. Whichever is lower, pick it and then do the 50%. 50% should be done at the end. 50% should be done at the end. Because otherwise क्या point हुआ? आपने 50% claim कर लिया सीधा फिर qualifying limit पे, then there is no point ना. अगर qualifying limit is there already huge, तो what is the difference between the fourth category and the second category? First, you see the donation, you pick the qualifying limit, whichever is lower, uska you pick the remaining qualifying limit, whichever is lower, uska 50% would be your eligible deduction in the fourth category. Total ATG में first category, second, third and fourth category मिला के 87,500 का deduction is allowed. Is it clear? Yes or no? How to calculate the fourth category? That is extremely important. I'll give you more question, but first tell me where is the doubt. एक बारी देखो, उसको absorb करो, no problem. तो फोर्थ कैटेगरी, सबसे पहले फर्स्ट कैटेगरी में फ्लैट, सेकंड कैटेगरी में फ्लैट 50, थर्ड कैटेगरी में पहले कैलकुलेट क्वालिफाइंग लिमिट, इफ इट इज विद इन द क्वालिफाइंग लिमिट पूरा पूरा 100% अलाउड. Fourth category में whatever is the remaining qualifying limit and whatever is the donation, compare it, उसका 50% would be allowed as deduction. Got it? So if I give you a figure, the figure is that a person has a gross total income of 6 lakhs. He is claiming 1 lakh in ATC. Okay, now you have to tell me what is the donation allowed under section 80G if the person has made 50,000 contribution in Vaishno Devi, which is a public institution, temple, qualifying for deduction, and is a donee, which is qualifying under section 80G subsection 5. There is no other donation, only this is the donation which is there. Tell me the amount under section 80G which a person can claim. You have 2 minutes, quickly. Very good, Manisha. Very good, Prithvi. Very good, Aisha. The person can claim 25,000. Yes, Darshan, this is from fourth category. Paper में कहीं पे भी नहीं लिखा होगा the category if it is not coming under first, second, and third category, and it is written that the institution is a eligible institution for 80G subsection 5. Then you have to assume it's a fourth category and you have to claim the deduction. Because qualifying limit यहाँ पे 50,000 आ रहा है and donation is also 50,000, so 50-50 कुछ भी कर लो, उसका 50% would be allowed as deduction. But had this amount be 1,50,000, then what would be your answer? Then the answer would be 22,500, correct. So had this been the 1,50,000, the adjusted total income would have been 4,50,000. So 4,50,000 का 10%, 45,000. 45,000 and 50 में obviously 45,000 is low. 45,000 का 50% would be allowed. Perfect. Clear? अब इसमें please do not mistake any error. Do not make any error. Now some few points which you should remember. If the donation has been claimed as deduction under any section, you cannot claim as deduction under 80G. For example, if you have claimed deduction under section 37 or you will be claiming deduction in the coming section. You cannot claim under ATG. So double deduction is not allowed anywhere. Second, Kalku, if this might not be a question at your level, but you just have to confirm that on the receipt, you have maintained the receipts of donations for the purpose of claiming the deduction. On that receipt, the PAN of the donee should be cleared. The donee ka PAN should be clear, and to claim those deduction, maintain those receipts. ऐसा नहीं है करके डाल दिया. No, you have to maintain the receipts. You should have the PAN so that you can write in full details when you are claiming the deduction. Please remember these things so that you do not make an error, and just on the say of your client, do not claim any deductions until and unless you have a proper donation receipt for it. Got it? अब कोई बोलेगा कि मैम डोनेशन कर दिया, exempt income से करा, does not matter. It does not matter. Whatever incomes you are making donation, it does not matter at all. Got it? Now, anyone has any doubt? So ATG is donation to specified institutions of funds allowed to any SSE up to 50% or 100% of the donations made. So today we begin with ATDD. We've talked about medical expenditure or payment of insurance premium for the benefit of a relative suffering from disability, and that person is dependent. ATDD may resident individual or HUF would get a deduction of flat 75,000 or 1,25,000 in case of severe disability. ATDDB may we covered amount incurred for medical treatment of specified disease or ailments. It is also allowed for only resident individuals and HUF to an extent of 40,000 or actual expenditure. The limit of 40,000 is increased to 1 lakh in case of senior citizen patient. ATE may interest paid on education loan taken for higher education. It is allowed to only individual, and interest paid during the year would be allowed as deduction. Education can be in abroad or in India, does not matter. ATEE may interest payable on loan taken for acquisition of residential property, and the loan should be taken between April 16 to March 17. Maximum interest 50,000 only to individual. No HF is coming here. ATEEA only to individual. Loan to be taken from 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2022 for the acquisition of residential property. Both are for the people who do not have any house at the time of sanctioning of loan. But the interest here is 1,50,000. ATEEB may interest on loan taken for acquiring an electric vehicle. Maximum 1,50,000 allowed to individual. And ATG donation to specified institutions and funds, any SSE, but the limits have to be seen category wise. 100% first category, 50% second category, subject to qualifying limit, 100% third category and 50% last category. Next class, we'll start from ATGG, which is payment in rent of residential house property, and we will move to ATGGB, ATGC, and whatever ATJJ ATJJAA, whatever those small ones are left, we'll cover up. And also we did ATU today, where we talked about a person suffering from a disability or severe disability can claim deduction under section ATU for 75,000 or 1,25,000, but it's only for resident individual. Got it? Anyone has any queries? Perfect. So see you guys in the next class, and I hope, since we have covered all the illustration today, I hope you people practice it, make self notes, make all those flags, and especially जो हमने वो chart बनाया था for ATD, ATDDB, ATDD and your ATU. I hope you prepare that and remember it. Okay. Prithvi is saying, ma'am, if individual has a medical treatment of 50,000, dependent father is a senior citizen of 50,000, then how much deduction would be allowed under ATDDB? Deduction you can claim, वैसे तो honestly, अगर आप towards line जाओ, first of all, I hope this is for specified disease. अगर if it's for self and the person is not a senior citizen, it's 40,000. Okay, then father and 1 lakh के limit में it's 50,000. Lines, if you go, it should be 90,000. But practically, this should be there. But people who do not go by the lines, they can claim 1 lakh also. But honestly, if you ask me, it should be 90. Any other query? Perfect then. So let's wrap up the class. I hope you people have a great week ahead. See you in the next class. Thank you.